Hi! Didn't see you there. I was just admiring the green chlorophylls of this rose bush. So, real talk right now. When I was in college and I took my first college test, I studied. I stayed up really late studying. And then I made in 79. And I was like, what? I even made note cards like a good little student and studied them backwards and front. Backwards and front. But see, that was my problem. I would read this definition. When one object exerts a force on a second object, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, I know that that's Newton's third law, right? But see, what you're doing unknowingly is you're actually training your brain to memorize a definition. See, your brain is really goal-oriented. It's just worried about getting the job done. It is not worried about whether or not you learn or anything. It's just looking for the reward. So, unbeknownst to you, you're actually just trying to get through the card. You're not actually learning anything. If you want to learn something, like really learn something, let me show you a magic trick. Voila. I know, it's pretty amazing, right? I've been practicing for weeks. Science is like magic, but real. So anyway, hold up this card and tell me what Newton's third law is. I know you can memorize that definition. Humans have been doing it for billions of years. You teenagers do it every time you lie to your parents. I ain't worried about how well your brain can memorize things. I already know. The fact that you're here, and Darwinism has shown me that, shows me that you can memorize anything if I tell you to. What I want you to do is be able to tell me what this is. What is it? Well, Newton's third law is equal but opposite reaction, right, Miss Alves? Why, yes, Jimothy, you're absolutely correct. Can you use it in a sentence? Of course you can't, because that's just another form of memorization. Okay? Equal but opposite reaction, what does that even mean? Well, that's whenever you instill, a bug just flew in my glasses. Anyway, acceleration, right? This is just a force equation rewritten. It means that acceleration and force are proportional to each other, while mass and acceleration are inversely proportional to each other. Furthermore, acceleration and force both go in the same direction. You see, all that Newton's law is saying is that depending on my mass of me and the object that I'm interacting with, that's going to determine my acceleration, right? So in a feat of incredible athleticism, I just jumped up in the air, right? See, what had happened was I pushed down on the earth, and consequently, the earth pushed back at me with the exact same amount of force. Now, the reason that we both didn't go flying in opposite directions, or the fact that, you know, we just didn't cancel each other out and just sit in one spot, is the fact of the matter remains that Earth is a lot bigger than I am. Shocker. I know. And as my mass is inversely proportional to my acceleration, I went flying up. Meanwhile, the Earth had a very minuscule acceleration, but it still did move. How cool is that? I get to move the Earth, right? Because as you know, being inversely proportional means that one goes up while the other one goes down. And even though you see my F's are the same size, the fact of the matter remains that I went up and Earth, it kind of moved a little bit. Just a little bit. So all that is to say that, that was smooth. You know what else is smooth? The fact that I just noticed that I still have paint on my fingernails from whenever I painted the other weekend. So, I'm just a big graceful person. So, all that is to say that I came up with that example on my own because I studied this. I didn't study that because I can memorize that all day long. And then you throw me a question that uses it in a real sentence in like a live human conversation, and I'm like, what are you even talking about, Carol? And that's why I made that grade in college, is because I was studying this. I should have been studying this. And that's how you learn things. And you need to apply it to all different aspects of your life. If you can tell me what it is in your own words, you know it. So if you're ever learning something and you expect it to stick, you can't just memorize it. You have to define it for yourself. Don't just regurgitate it back at me. Regurgitate is a fancy word for throw up. So, don't throw up on me. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go admire this beautiful incident ray of Earth rotating on its axis. It's a fancy word for sunset. I was trying to come up with some clever way to end this, but I just don't have one, so good night.